Before I get into this video, I just want to let you guys know that I do not support J.K. Rowling at all. I try not to say her name, honestly. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because this readathon that I'm going to talk about was based on Harry Potter, but it's going to be changed. So I just want to say don't support her. I'm a supporter of the trans community, LGBT plus community. There are resources in the description for LGBT people and as well as Black Lives Matter resources and petitions to sign. And I just threw in some good old environmentally aware websites that you can check out if you want to help out the planet. So let's get into it. Today I'm going to be filming my N.E.W.T.s readathon TBR. And the N.E.W.T.s is a readathon that's hosted by G at Book Roast, and it takes place throughout the whole month of August. It was based on the Harry Potter exams that they take in the books, the N.E.W.T.s exams, the owls and the N.E.W.T.s. But after this year, it's going to be changed because of the because J.K. Rowling has shared her opinion, and we know where she stands now. I did the owls this year, and that was before everything went down. I know that she still has said a few questionable things in the past, but yeah, I just wanted to finish this readathon, and G recognizes that a lot of people just want to finish it. She's not going to be hosting it this year, but people can still participate if they wish, so she sent out prompts and everything. So yeah, let's get into the books that I picked out. So I have 13 books picked out for this month because there are 13 prompts for my career and the rules are you can't double up. So my career that I'm going for is librarian, and in April I read I think 5 books for that. I actually didn't pass in April, so I carried it into May. Prompt 1 is for ancient runes, and if you see me looking down, I have this written in my little hedgehog journal from Barnes & Noble. The first prompt is for ancient runes to get an A in ancient runes, and it's to read a book where the author's name starts with a B. Now, right off the bat, I'm stretching the prompts because I plan to read Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Search, that comic that you can get online. And this is a reach because the first author listed on Goodreads is Jean Luen Yang. I'm counting it because the second or third author that's listed is Brian Konietzko, so I'm thinking that that counts. The Search is all about the search for Zuko's mother, and I don't know very much about it, but I think that's pretty much the whole story. Zuko and, you know, the gang go to find his mom, so yeah, I'm really excited for that. To get an E in Ancient Runes, I have to read a classic, and for this, I'm going to be reading The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. This is a very short book. I picked it mainly for that reason. But yeah, I think I heard of this from Ariel Bissett on her channel, and I don't know, it just sounded interesting, and it happened to fit the prompt because it's a classic. This book is written in vignettes, and it's about a Latina girl growing up in Chicago, and basically the story of how she grows up and how she becomes who she is. And it says that some of the stories are super heartbreaking and some are really happy and fun to read about, so I'm really excited for that. To get an O in Ancient Runes, I need to read a romance, so for this prompt, I'm going to be listening to the audiobook of Eclipse by Stephenie Meyer. And before you guys attack me for being 2 books deep into the Twilight universe, I don't care. I like it. I enjoy it. It's my guilty pleasure and I like it, okay? I like listening to the Twilight books. I read the other 2 earlier in the year. They're great audiobooks, honestly. Like, I'm not that much of a fan of the voice actor, but they're just really good stories to listen to because I like to tab my books, and there's not really many tabbable moments in Twilight books, I feel like, at least the ones I've read so far, but they're really good because I don't have to constantly stop and bookmark places. I could just listen and take a walk or paint or something. I think that most people probably know that I think that it's the third book, so I think it's pretty much about like Bella like having to choose between Edward and Jacob. So that's all I know, really. My next subject is Defense Against the Dark Arts, and to earn an A in this class, I need to read a horror or a thriller. So for this one, I went to my own TBR shelf up here that was getting kind of full, and I don't allow myself to fill that up. I try to keep it roomy, I guess you would say. But I have As I Descended by Robin Talley, and I've had this book for a long time on my shelf. Actually, I don't remember if I bought it or if I got it from someone. Ever since I found out that it's a Macbeth retelling, I've been really excited to read it, and I just never got to pick it up. This book is about two girls, Maria and Lily, and they're a couple, and they are trying to win their school's Kingsley Prize, and there's another student who's expected to win it called Delilah, and it just gets really dark in how Maria and Lily are kind of willing to do anything, willing to like go to the dark side or something. And judging by the synopsis, I think it might get a little bit paranormal, and people definitely die. So, exciting. My third subject is the history of magic, and to get an A in this subject, I need to read a historical fiction. And I feel like I debated between this to like see if it was a stretch or not. Regardless if it was or not, I was gonna pick it anyway. But I have Hollow City by Ransom. Why did I have to look? But yeah, this is the second book in the Miss Peregrine's series, and I read the first one earlier this year, and I enjoyed it. It's not like my favorite book or anything, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I picked up both this copy and the first copy at the thrift store for like $2 each, so that was a deal. Great. I'm counting this as a historical fiction because it says it takes place in 1940, and the first book kind of has like strange time travel-y things in it, so I'm not sure if that's going to be in this book. And I think basically they go to London and they meet some people. Sorry, the glare is so bad. I don't know how to fix that. But yeah, they go to London. It's fun. Hopefully. To get an E in History of Magic, I have to read a book with a mostly black cover, and for this one, I'm going to be reading Volume 1 of Death Note by Tsugumi Ohba. And so for this one, I watched the anime a couple years ago, I think, and I never finished it. It's about this boy in high school, I think, who is one day visited by a demon-like creature, and he gives him a book called the Death Note, and whenever he writes a name in it, that person dies. So I think that'll be fun. To get an A in arithmancy, I have to read a nonfiction book, and for this prompt, I'm going to be reading So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo. And I've had this on my Audible for a little while because I meant to read it earlier, a couple months ago. It pretty much talks about anti-racism and the Black Lives Matter movement, basically how to understand racism and the roots of it, I think, in America, and like how modern racism really still has an effect on everybody today. To get an A in potions, I need to read a book with a sky on the cover or in the title. And for this one, I'm going to be reading Bloom by Kevin Panetta. This book is pretty much about a boy named Ari who really wants to move to the city because he's kind of sick of working at his family's bakery. And then he meets this boy called Hector who really loves baking, and I think they kind of bond over that in a way, and I guess Ari doesn't want his plans to get in the way of that. So I'm excited. It's a graphic novel. I made sure to pick a good amount of graphic novels and thinner books for this because I've never read 13 books in a month. I think the most I've done is like 10 maybe, but I'm not sure. To get an E in potions, I have to read a book where the author's name starts with a D, and I'm stretching this one as well because I have The Deep by Rivers Solomon. It is by Rivers Solomon, but then it says with David Diggs, William Hudson, and Jonathan Snipes. So David Diggs is a D. I don't know if he actually helped write this book. I think on Goodreads it said that like his work inspired it, but I'm counting it for the challenge. I'm actually very excited for this. It's also pretty thin, so I think I could get through it really fast considering what it's about. It kind of extends the idea of how slaves were brought to America on slave ships, and many of them didn't make it here, either because they died or they were thrown overboard or they jumped overboard. It's kind of interpreted into what if these people evolved into like some sort of mer people. It's really interesting to take history and change it into something fantastical. But honestly, mermaids might exist. We don't know. Only 5% of the ocean is explored, so I'm not gonna say that they're not real. For the last subject, I have to get an A, an E, and an O in Transfiguration, so that's 3 more books, but I am actually going to make a separate video reading those 3 books because it's a very popular series that I've never read, and I want to make a vlog type video of my experience because I feel like you know, a lot of people really love this series and it's really dear to their heart, so I feel like I want to document my experience and see if I feel the same way. I'll let you know the prompts. If you think you can guess the series, let me know in the comments. But the first prompt is an animal on the cover, second is fire or dragon on the cover or in the title, and O is a hardcover, so the last one's pretty flexible. That is my N.E.W.T.s/August TBR, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check the links in the description that I mentioned before about Black Lives Matter, the LGBTQ+ community, and ways to conserve our planet. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.